morning. Welcome to Unity of the Valley. We all get to sing together on the opening song, It's a Good Day. It's a good day for singing a song. It's a good day for moving along. Yes, it's a good day. How could anything go wrong? It's a good day for singing a song. It's a good day for shining your light. It's a good day for making it right. Everything to gain and it's all inside. It's a good day for shining your light. And I said to the sun, good morning, sun, rise and shine today. You know you gotta get going if you're gonna make a show, and you got the right of way. It's a good day for making things right. It's a good day from morning till night. Take a deep breath, step into the light. It's a good day for making it right. It's a good day from morning till night. It's a good day for shining your light. It's a good day.
All right. Thank you, Claire. It certainly is a good day. Good morning, everybody. Happy Sunday. Thank you for joining Unity of the Valley Spiritual Center Sunday Zoom service. My name is John Ruddy, and I'll be serving as your host today. We are so grateful that you've chosen to spend your morning as part of our spiritual community. We welcome back our special music guest, longtime friend and fan favorite, Claire Vandekramert, this morning. And thank you, Claire, for sharing your musical artistry with us once again this morning. We greatly appreciate our speakers and musicians who are willing to join us on Zoom. If you'd like to be added to our electronic newsletter called The Weekly Buzz to stay updated, simply email us at info@unityofthevalley.mn.org. Likewise, if you have a prayer request for our prayer chaplains, you may submit it at the same email address. We also encourage you to subscribe to our Unity of the Valley YouTube channel, to like our Unity of the Valley Facebook page, and to visit our website at unityofthevalley.mn.org to learn more about us. We are blessed to have several volunteers who make this service happen digitally each Sunday. Let me introduce you to those who are sharing their talents this morning. Jennifer Stevens will be serving as our daily word reader this morning, and Sherry Johnson will be delivering the prayer box blessing and leading our affirmations. Special thanks to Deanna Reese, who's in charge of the slides, and Mark Sobold, who's serving behind the scenes, handling all of our technical needs. As always, thanks to Catherine Belisle, who recruits the musical performers, and to Peggy Henriksen, who's in charge of the speakers each and every week. Thank you. We do appreciate everyone's unique contribution to our service. And now a few reminders. Unless you have a role in today's service, please keep your microphone on mute until the end. Likewise, if you're going to be multitasking while you watch the service, please turn off your video so as not to distract other viewers. Those controls are in the lower left hand corner of your Zoom screen. Finally, please refrain from using the chat feature during the service as it distracts from the music and the message. So now we invite you to sit back, get comfortable, tune out any distractions, let in the love and light. After the service, you're welcome to stay on to say hello to other Unity members and guests during our online social time, and then your mics at that point will be unmuted. So now I'd like to introduce our speaker so as not to interrupt the flow of our meditation time. Drake Powe is our special guest speaker today. He has shared his thoughtful messages with us before, but if you missed hearing him and about him, let me say a bit about Drake. Drake is a meditation teacher, life coach, stress reduction consultant, yoga instructor, and speaker. By using a blend of ancient and modern tools and simple practices, He teaches his clients to ground themselves in their deeper power and subtler awareness, allowing clarity, resilience, and kindness to flower. In this way, clients access inner resources that ground and center them, even as the world changes. Drake grew up in a racially charged and physically dangerous environment. Living in this intense energy, he became interested in yoga and meditation practice as a way to navigate life's challenges. By age 11, he was devouring books on meditation and soon began his own meditation practice. He eventually took up Kripalu Yoga and blended it with his study of meditation, applying the lessons to stress reduction and conflict resolution in a 25-year career working with aggressive adults. Drake believes we all have an instinct leading us toward fulfillment. His work was created out of a need to ground and heal himself, as well as a desire to help our shared community. Drake's message today is intriguingly titled, "The Performance of a Lifetime, How Acting Can Support Authenticity." We look forward to hearing your message this morning, Drake, and welcome back. All right, at this time, we'd like to welcome anyone who's watching our Zoom Sunday broadcast for the first time. Please join me in this special blessing. Together, we offer you peace, love, and friendship. We bless you, and we're glad you're here. It's now time for the reading of the daily word, followed by the blessing of the prayer box and reading of our affirmations.
Good morning. My daily word was just covered up by my screen. Hold on just 1 second. There we go. The daily word for today is faith. With faith, nothing is impossible for me. With gratitude, I use my faith to trust in the good that is always present, even when it has not yet manifested. As I pray with faith, I discern the truth that always endures through even the most difficult circumstances. As I concentrate on harmony and love, all thoughts of lack, limitation, and discord simply dissolve. As I speak with faith, I use positive words to express my belief in myself and others as divine beings. As I act with faith, I access deep, lasting strength and fortitude that help me surmount any challenges. Inspired by my faith, I move forward with confidence. Nothing is impossible for me. And the verse for today, if you have faith the size of a mustard seed, you will say to this mountain, move from here to there, and it will move, and nothing will be impossible for you. Matthew 17:20. Again, the word for today is faith.
Good morning. This prayer box holds an infinite number of virtual prayers. So I invite you to silently add your own name and the names of anyone in your heart or on your mind who may need prayer support. These virtual prayers are known and will be addressed by the infinite. We know that the truth behind all appearance of disharmony is the divine and perfect presence of the infinite, which we call God. We call forth within all people the wisdom and strength, the love and peace, the wholeness and vitality of the perfect presence. We affirm that the requests in our prayer box and in our hearts and on our minds are being resolved in divine timing for the all concerned. We send love and light not only to these people and circumstances, but to our community, our country, and our world. May the love of us, may the peace of God uphold us. May the wisdom of God inspire us and help us to know in our hearts that all is well. And so it is. Please join me for saying the affirmation for the day. I can discover my true self through a commitment of deep listening to both the inner and the outer world. And now join me for the affirmation for our spiritual center. We give thanks that Unity of the Valley is a prosperous, thriving, inspired, connected community. We are growing spiritually, manifesting our dreams and goals, love, peace, and joy. And so it is.
Are you up there, Claire? Did we lose Claire? We may have to roll to the we may have to roll right to the meditation, Drake. I'm not seeing Claire on here, so.
Okay, can you hear me? All right, so I'm just going to ring a bell. I'm going to ring it just briefly. I'm going to ask you to listen just for a moment. Here we go. I would ask you now to take a nice, easy breath in and make a nice ah sound. Ah. The breathing come back to normal. Bring the chest up and just let yourself begin to relax. Let yourself relax through the jaws. Let the shoulders relax all the way through the neck and shoulders. Chest is up. And just find your breathing and be aware of the center of your forehead, relaxing the center of your forehead. Breathing nice and easily, relaxing the back of the neck through the base of the skull. Continuing to breathe. I'm going to ask you to be aware of your jaws and just allow your jaws to release. And notice how that changes your relationship to your face. The lips soften. When the jaws relax, the neck and shoulders also are invited to release. Relaxing the jaws and the hands at the same time. Slowing it down, continuing to breathe. Be aware that when you relax your jaws, you also invite your hands to soften. When you have clenched jaws, often come with clenched fists. Let the jaws and hands relax. Breathing nice and easily, just being aware of the heart. When the jaws and the fists relax, the heart begins to open. Allow yourself to shine out of that heart. Breathing nice and easily. And I'm going to ask you to just access your imagination. And if you have your eyes closed, just imagine complete and utter darkness. Slow breaths in and out. In complete darkness. And in that darkness, imagine seeing a light way, way off in the distance and see that light coming towards you. As that light comes closer, you can tell that it's a candle light flickering in the wind. Breathing nice and easily. I'm going to ask you to breathe right into that candle light. And notice that as you breathe into it, the light becomes more stable. It stops flickering. It begins to look almost solid. Breathing nice and easily. And then transitioning right into deep listening, the message of the day. Listen intently for every sound. Noticing any sounds from outside the building that you're in. Maybe you can hear traffic or birds. and noticing any sounds within the building. Breathing nice and easily and taking a nice, easy breath in and an easy sigh. Ending as we began, relaxing the jaw and opening the eyes. So I just want to offer that candle, that stillness, is that candle that is our own stability. It seems like it flickers, but it really doesn't. That candle is actually always still and always stable. And that's what we are here in our world today to access, is that inner stability. So just bringing that level of calm into the day.
Every little bit makes me so sure. With every breath it will endure. In all the places in between, there's always something I can see. Every moment so complete, in each breath and every heartbeat, in all the places in between, there's always something I can see. Faces, all the places, and everything we do and see, it comes and goes, hides and shows. Now I know it goes with me, it's all I see. There's always something, there's always something, there's always something, there's always something in all the faces, all the places, in everything we do and see. It comes and goes, hides and shows. Now I know it goes with me, it's all I see. And every little bit makes me so sure. With every breath it will endure. In all the places in between.
Thank you so much, Claire. That is so beautiful. As you were coming in with the intro song, the Fields of Gold, it just was so beautiful. And then to hear your voice, it's really a tremendous offering. So thank you so very much. And I also want to thank everyone for joining us here today. I really want to touch base on several details, particularly the subject that we're here to focus on, the performance of a lifetime, how acting can support authentic living. So I want to be in contact with that, but I also want to be in contact with another level of what is my motivation for wanting to make this conversation, to be involved with this conversation. And that is an incredible sense of joy and optimism in being a human being. You know, I feel so grateful to be living this human life and to be here right now, because I know this is exactly the time that we are needing people like us to show up. And I know that we are showing up. You know, I know that light is more powerful than darkness. And so this is one of the reasons why I also want to talk about this subject here today. Now, many of you, probably don't know me. And I probably should put this on my resume, but I actually have an extensive acting history. Well, okay, not extensive. I was in one play when I was a freshman in college, but I was the lead. I was the lead of the play. Okay, I wasn't the lead of the play. I was the guard in back to the right. That's all I did in the whole play. I just stood to the back and I held a spear, and I remember it had a paper mache like head to the spear. But hey, we've all heard that cliche, there are no small roles, only small actors. Well, I was the lead because I could have disrupted the whole play. And so, it's, of course, I'm joking in talking about this extensive history. However, I have studied acting my entire life, not for the pursuit to become an actual actor on stage, but because of what I was discovering, how acting technique could actually support us in being more effective and more authentic in our lives. Acting technique, and I would also combine that with comics. So there are two basic types of comics. Comics who memorize jokes and comics who come on stage and do observational humor. They sort of pick out anyone there and they talk to that. It's improvisational. This improvisational element, in order to really make it work, there has to be a real truth to it. It's one of the reasons that comics have oftentimes been great dramatic actors, actors like Robin Williams, who had so many great dramatic roles. And so I'm interested in this. How does great acting happen? I think that if you would like to check in with yourself, you probably realize or have a sense of when you see a truly great performance, you're moved by it. You are moved by a great performance. Likewise, a really, really bad performance, a really bad actor is repulsive. We may even find ourselves laughing at that performance. We're not laughing with that performance, we're laughing at the performance because it doesn't have that ring of truth. So I want to bring up some of the elements of why, in my mind, great acting is accessible to all of us. So let's talk a little bit about poor acting. So I'm suggesting that we have bad actors around us all day long. This may seem like a really out there subject to bring together, but I'm suggesting that acting is a part of everyone's daily life. Most people are acting. There's the old cliche that actors ask, well, what's my motivation? What's my motivation? If you don't know what your motivation is, you're going to end up being a bad actor. A bad actor is actually not making the main subject the main subject. They have some sort of supplemental element that they're accessing. They're really not accessing the truth of who that character is. If you don't know what the character's motivation is, you won't be able to perform that role. So we have to understand what our motivation is in order to be authentic. When we go out into the world, a lot of the people we see think they're working for one thing when they're really working for something else. If your motivation is really a sense of anger rather than eventually bringing things together, you're going to be coming from that space rather than really activating a peaceful relationship. So the motivation is important, and the deep listening is important. Poor actors often don't listen. You find them sort of waiting to say their lines, but you can tell they're really not listening to the other performers. If you see a poor performance on stage, there may be a plate that crashes and breaks and everyone ignores it. So my point is deep committed listening. Deep committed listening automatically informs a performance. When you are really truly listening to what other people say and you're really in contact with what's happening, then all of a sudden we know what to do. This is clearly a challenging time for all of us. And yet by applying these elements, we can begin to make it work better for us. This commitment to deep listening, when we truly listen, we know what to do. And so I just want to continue to break down some of these elements. I pulled up a great acting teacher. He said that there were 4 muscles that come together to make a great actor. And I would like to suggest to you that these also apply to authentic living. One muscle, he says, is childlike innocence. Childlike innocence. You know, when Claire was playing that music, I felt a joy in the music that reminded me of my history all the way back to childhood. Childlike innocence is an important element. It's what informs the performance. What does it mean to have childlike innocence? You know, a child can come into this room right here and find all kinds of things to do, to get into. I remember my daughter was 12. I remember when she was a little baby. If I didn't hear her, you know, if she was in another room and I didn't hear what was going on, I got concerned, right? We all know how that is. Now, an adult can have a whole wide world and have less space than a child in a single room because the child is open. They're open to awareness. They don't think they know the truth of everything. When we do not have that childlike innocence, reality begins to slowly collapse on us until we don't have any room to move and we're just like stuck. You know, again, it comes back to this relationship to poor acting. You end up talking to people who don't listen to you. So if we really want to give a true and powerful performance, and in some ways that is what our lives are, our lives on one level is a performance that we are putting on for ourselves. Think about it. There's only one audience member throughout your entire life. It's you. You and your relationship to God. You're co-creating this experience together. So on one level, this performance is for you. If you want to enjoy it, we have to take a step back and not be completely caught in it. So this childlike innocence is part of the way that it occurs. The next muscle he describes is imagination. And I think it's interesting how these elements flow together. Childlike innocence and imagination, don't those things come together? Think about it. Think about yourself way back in the day when you were first getting intrigued by things, whatever you loved. I remember going to the science fiction book club when I was in like 5th grade, and I was looking around the room, and it was all the dorks from the entire region had all collected into this one library. But I was in love with it, and I say proudly now, I'm an adult dork. But it connects me to that childlike innocence and that real love for the things that I used to do. So I'm asking you to consider really activating your imagination. Isn't that part of what you used to do as a kid? Didn't you spend some time wool gathering and just imagining different things? I had superheroes I had imagined and all kinds of things. You know, we must continue to activate our imagination. Our imagination is also our access to manifestation. What are you imagining? If you are not clear, and by the way, you are imagining things. It's just, you can tell what you're imagining by how good or bad you feel. So bringing imagination into whimsical areas, imagining beautiful things, imagining fun things. Do you know how to have fun? We have to imagine having fun. But also imagining the good. Imagining people getting together better. I'm asking you to access your powerful imagination as a manifestation for all of us. Imagine things getting better. How much time do you imagine things getting better? So we have childlike innocence, we have imagination. The next element that this gentleman says is vulnerability. I would suggest that is incredibly important to be authentic. A truly authentic performance moves us because of the actor's vulnerability. And I would like to say that part of what makes a good actor is empathy. The ability to be able to have empathy for the character that you're portraying. You know, empathy and compassion are related. Compassion is bigger than empathy. But just to be able to have empathy, and one of the things that I'm saying and suggesting that we are having a deficit in our world right now is empathy. You know, we can't see ourselves, or, you know, many of us can't see ourselves related to each other. So empathy is one of those elements, and that comes from the ability, even if you're portraying someone who's not pleasant, you have to be able to have empathy for that character in order to portray them authentically. You know, it doesn't matter who the character is. It might be Darth Vader or anyone else. But if you don't play your character as though they're the hero of the play, then you're not authentically fulfilling the role, because every individual sees themselves as the hero of the play. No matter who you think of in the world, no matter what position they hold, they see themselves as the hero. So again, all of these things come back together. You know, it's like that old saying, all roads lead to Rome. All these roads lead to, on some level, deep listening. So vulnerability. The fourth one is concentration. This is the fourth muscle that he describes, the need to access. Now, concentration is also a muscle, and we're living in a time where we have a deficit of concentration. One of the elements of the speeding up of technology is it has diminished people's attention span. But if you don't have good concentration, you can't play your role. If you don't have good concentration, you're going to forget what your motivation is. You know, if you're out in the street and someone, and this is very happens a lot these days, you might come up against someone who does something disrespectful. If you don't have a good sense of concentration, if you lose contact with your motivation, you can find yourself in a conflict, a road rage incident. It really has no relationship to what your true focus and purpose is in life. So concentration. Now, concentration can be developed. It's like a muscle. There are very simple practices that we can do to develop concentration. So, and all four of these, again, lead to each other. As we develop concentration, the ability to focus on our priorities, we find that we also have childlike innocence. We find that we have the imagination building, and we find ourselves able to access vulnerability. Because concentration is essentially your ability to focus your attention on what you want to focus on rather than what you don't want to focus on. So it's a very powerful, very powerful relationship. This relationship to acting and its ability to inform us. Because one of these things that this does is that the revelation is not for others, it's for ourselves. When we are truly acting authentically, we find out something about ourselves in the process, even as the people that we are talking to and communicating with find it as well. So, you know, truly learning to have a relationship to acting, and I'm talking about acting in life. You know, when, for instance, we're self-conscious when we go into a room, or when we don't feel like we really know anyone or feel like we might mess up. You know, this relationship to the process is really a deep surrender. So to me, truly learning the process of acting is really learning how to surrender to what is, and learning how to be balanced at the same time. You know, one of the things that we find with poor actors, even if they can do good performances, some actors don't have the ability to keep a firewall between themselves and the role. You know, if you're playing Hamlet, it's probably not a good idea to not be able to realize when the performance is over. So this, again, is one of the relationships that we access within this deep reservoir. So I'm going to ask you just to take a moment and just access the senses just for a moment. I'm going to ask you to sit up tall and just breathe. Breathe nice and easily and find the air coming in and out and surrender. Surrender. Notice any sense. Noticing any taste. Breathing nice and easily. Be aware of touch. And notice any sense of rhythm. Feel the beating of your heart. Continuing to breathe. And be aware of space and any sense of color. Noticing listening. Deep, deep, deep listening. Breathing nice and easily and taking a nice, easy breath in. An easy sigh. Let the breathing come back to normal, eyes opening. And again, just sit back. Be in that space of listening. Listening is a surrender. And when we access listening, we find the flow that we need to have to find where we want to go with our experience. So true acting, I've had some people ask me if acting makes us less real. But to me, the practice of learning to act on one level is the process of learning to be. It's a relationship to authentic being. And this is my perception of why acting, learning to act, just the theory behind it, really makes a different relationship for learning to be. Because when we learn to act, we let the performance come through us. We step into power rather than working to use force. We end up becoming educational to both ourselves and others. And we find that the truth between us is exactly what we need to find the truth within us. And this is the relationship between acting and authentic living. Thank you.
Loved the message. It's always interesting to me how things align. When you were speaking about the whole purpose, it takes me back to my childhood and the one time a year that The Wizard of Oz came on. And these 4 characters had a very strong sense of purpose in what they were seeking. And ultimately, what they sought was within, but it was the lack of belief that they could attain this. And they had to be very vulnerable with one another because they had this journey to go on. And in the end, rather than all roads leading to Rome, the Yellowbrick Road led to Oz. And here we go. If I only had a brain. I could while away the hours, conferring with the flowers, consulting with the rain. And my head I'd be scratching while my thoughts were busy hatching. If I only had a brain, I'd unravel every riddle for any individual in trouble or in pain. With the thoughts I'd be thinking, I could be another Lincoln if I only had a brain. Oh, I could tell you why the ocean's near the shore. I could think of things I never thought before. And then I would sit and think some more. I would not be just a nuttin', my head all full of stuffing, my heart all full of pain. I would dance and be merry, life would be a ding, a dairy, if I only had a brain. empty kettle. He should be on his mettle, and yet I'm torn apart. Just because I'm presuming that I could be kinda human if I only had a heart. I'd be tender, I'd be gentle, and awfully sentimental regarding love and God. I'd be friends with the sparrows and the boy who shoots the arrows if I only had a heart. Picture me a balcony above a voice sings low. Wherefore art thou, Romeo? I hear a beat. How sweet, just to register emotion, jealousy, devotion, and really feel part. I would stay young and chipper, and I'd lock it with a zipper if I only had a heart. Life is sad, believe me, missy, when you're born to be a sissy without the vim and void. But I would show my prowess, be a lion, not a mouse, if I only had the noise. I'm afraid there's no denying, I'm just a dandelion, afraid I don't deserve. I'd be brave as a blizzard, I'd be gentle as a lizard, I'd be clever as a gizzard, if the wizard is a wizard who will serve. Then I'm sure to get a brain, a heart, a home, the noise.
Thank you so much, Claire. Thanks for that memory too. That one day a year we'd make sure we're in front of the TV to watch The Wizard of Oz. Thank you so much. Your contributions to our Sunday service are always so inspiring and so moving. We appreciate. So glad that you're available and can be with us. And you also give us a spiritual lesson if people get triggered because things didn't work out exactly the way they were supposed to. Maybe the technology doesn't work perfect all the time. It's a great reminder that if you're triggered by that, probably need to spend a little more time in meditation. So thank you for that. Thank you, Drake, as well, for a powerful, great message. You know, it's so basic that we overlook it, that we are not only the actor in our own play, but we're the director, the creator, the lighting, costumes. But you added another dimension. We're also our own audience, and I hadn't really thought of that before. But what a great message that we get to control how the play is moving and how it ends up. So thank you, Drake, for being with us again today. Great message. In this time of COVID and Zoom, we still have considerable expenses to maintain our beautiful center in anticipation of our eventual return. All of us who are fond of and connected to Unity of the Valley are immensely grateful for your monetary contributions to keep our spiritual community going and thriving, as well as for your participation in our services. We affirm the natural expansion of our own prosperity, as well as that of Unity of the Valley, as we give of our time, talents, and treasure with the high vibration of gratitude and an open heart. So let's read the love offering affirmation together, and then you'll have time during a musical interlude to consider your love offering. You may make your contribution after the service either by mailing a check to the center or via the donate button on our website. And we thank you in advance for your contributions. So now please join me in this love offering affirmation together. Divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I give, all that I receive, and all that I am.
My gift goes forth on the wings of love, and it lands where it can heal and bless. It returns to me, multiplied 1,000-fold, as the universe says yes, yes, as the universe says yes.
Now I invite everyone to join me in blessing all contributions and good of any kind so generously given to support Unity of the Valley this week. Together, we affirm that God is our source and we are the channels. We bless these gifts given in love that serve our spiritual family and flow out into our community and beyond. We are prosperous and blessed with abundant good. Thank you, Mother, Father, God. All right, I have several announcements for you here this morning. Just a reminder that our 11 a.m. Tuesday morning guided meditation is broadcast live by one of our prayer chaplains each week on our Unity of the Valley Facebook page. This meditation is also held by Unity Village and other Unity centers at the same time, which adds to its power, so please join in. And second, our wise friend and speaker, Deborah Engel, will be giving a Zoom class on this coming Tuesday, the 29th, titled The Law of Attraction Meets A Course in Miracles. Deborah will help us see how we can combine these two compatible superpowers and multiply our own power to manifest whatever we desire. See our website under classes or your last buzz for the link to sign up. The class will be from 7 to 8:30 p.m. and the cost is only $15. Next, recordings of Deborah's previous classes are available for purchase in the Buzz or on our website, all very valuable and interesting. And I've seen most, if not all of them. I highly recommend them. And then next, also check the website or Buzz for information about Lynn Woodland's year-long Miracles course on Zoom. It will cover the gamut of spiritual growth with the intention of helping attendees lead a miraculous life. It's offered every Wednesday evening from 7 to 8:15, and you may take any or as many classes as you'd like for a donation per class to Unity of the Valley. Lynn graciously wishes to support centers that have had to close their doors temporarily because of the pandemic. All proceeds go to the centers, all learning and growth go to the attendees, and great karma goes to Lynn. She will be speaking for our service on October 11th, so stay tuned. And then finally, got some happy news for you. For 12 straight months in a row, Unity of the Valley has met its monthly operating expenses. We would not be in such a fortunate financial position without the generous tithes and love offerings we receive from you, our members and friends. Thank you for these continued blessings, and if that doesn't bring you joy, you need to spend more time in meditation. All right, so thanks for your attention. Now let's move to our prayer for protection. And please join me together. The light of God surrounds me. I am that light. The love of God enfolds me. I am that love. The power of God protects me. I am that power. The presence of God watches over me. I am that presence. Wherever I am, God is. Wherever God is, I am. And all is well. Thank you so much for joining us today. Please be well. Stay connected with Unity. If you'd like to be part of the Zoom social after the service, stay logged into the meeting and chat with your Unity friends and guests afterwards. Now, a beautiful song coming up. We'll conclude with Claire Vandekramert. Beautiful closing song, Somewhere Over the Rainbow.
And because the words are on the screen, you're definitely going to have to sing along. Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, there's a land that the clouds are far behind me, where troubles melt like lemon drops, way above the chimney tops. That's where you'll find me, somewhere over the rainbow. Bluebirds fly, birds fly over the rainbow. Why then, oh, why can't I? Why can't I? If birds fly over the rainbow, why then, oh, why can't I? Why can't I? So will I.